Hi everyone, welcome back to Nick's Diecast. In today's video, I'll be doing an unboxing and a quick review of this 1/43rd scale Thunderbird show car made by Maisto. I bought this model off of eBay for just over $13 in total. You can see it's in the Road and Track style of box that they were selling at Walmart back in the late 90s. The concept car came out in 1999 and Maisto made a bunch of models of it in various scales. But as you can see, it's kind of a gold design on the box. Then you have this kind of plastic case that the model was actually inside of. So we'll go ahead and take the model out of the box, and we'll take it out of the plastic clear case next. And as you can see, there is a little instruction book on how to put on the removable hardtop and the tonneau cover. So you can see it says the Road and Track and Thunderbird show car on the base there. And this clear cover actually does come off. It is a little bit hard to do it with one hand, as you can see here, but I was able to fiddle with it and get it off eventually. All right, there we go. Okay, and then you can see that the hard top's in a separate piece of plastic in there, so we'll take that out. Then we just got to unscrew the car from the base. So there's the hard top here. And here's the model on the base. Just got to unscrew it. It's held down by just one screw. All right, got it off the base. And then we'll put on the hard top. You take off this first tonneau cover, and then you put on the other tonneau cover with the hard top, like so. And there you have it. Now we'll get into the review. All right, let's take a look at the details of this 1/43rd Thunderbird show car here. And yeah, once upon a time, Maisto actually did briefly make sort of highly detailed 1/43rd scale models. A few that I can think of are this. They also made the 2002 production Thunderbird in various colors at 1/43rd scale. They also made the Mercedes S-Class from 2000. I think also the Jaguar S-Type maybe, but these were made in like the late 90s, early 2000s. You saw that Road and Track packaging. That was a Walmart exclusive from like way back when. They sold Maisto models in various scales with that sort of a packaging style. But overall, the details on here are actually very well done. I think this could compete with some of these upper-end manufacturers that make 1/43rd scale models. And Maisto does some sort of make like 1/43rd scale cars now, but they're all kind of from like that Power Racer series. And they're all kind of different sort of oddball scale, like 1/41st scale, 1/38th, etc. And they're generally pretty well detailed, but some features are a little bit odd because they do have pullback motors in them, so they have to kind of, put like the motor in the car somewhere, so you might see like a lump in the back seat area and stuff like that. And like some of the tires are, crudely cast and other details. But for this model here, it's actually a pretty well detailed model, and I think it's pretty much almost a clone of the 1/18 scale version, which is very cool to see. So in terms of details, as you can see here, the paint job is actually very well done. It's very smooth throughout, pretty much just like the 1/18 scale version. Badging is also very well done. You can see there's the finely detailed Thunderbird badge up in the front there, and also in the back, and they are fully embossed on there in paint. And you can see there's the little Thunderbird inscription near the taillight in the back on both sides. The wheels and tires are also very well done. They're very, well detailed and well cast and everything. The chrome work on the windshield, I would say, is also quite well replicated. Very sturdy too. You don't get any opening features on here, but I don't think that's a big deal because, with those medium scale Maisto models, like from the Power Racer series, they usually do have opening doors, and they have, pretty big panel gaps and everything. But on here, you have a nice, kind of seamless look to it because, you don't have the opening trunk or hood or anything. And, the doors are also sealed. I think that's totally fine, especially for, like the $5 to $10 price range. Not sure what this originally sort of retailed at, but you can find a lot of these on eBay. Maisto made the Thunderbird show car in 1/43rd scale in both yellow and black, yellow and red. They made this model in yellow and red. They're two of the colors that the concept car came in too. But they both come with the removable hardtop. I think that's a cool touch. The headlights and taillights are also very well cast. Yeah, there is a peg in each one, but that's kind of where the bulb would be on like the real car, so I don't think that's a big deal. And you have the nice license plate frame on there too. Even the undercarriage is fairly well detailed too for a 1/43rd scale model. On the interior, it is pretty much a clone of the 1/18 scale version. Very well detailed paint in there, especially on like the door panels and on the dashboard. You have that nice kind of silver center stack going on there. They even put in the little Thunderbird badge on the steering wheel, which is a very cool touch on there. And even on the seats, they really shaped them nicely. It does have the improper shaped headrests, but that's kind of the same for like the 1/18 scale version, but I don't think that's a big deal. But the rest of the seats, I think, look very well done. They have a nice, you have a nice texture going on in there too. And despite the doors not being openable, they really detail those well too. You even see a little Thunderbird inscription on the dashboard there. I always like seeing these kind of fine details on these models. I kind of wish Maisto still made these at 1/43 scale models because, for a budget car, this is actually very well detailed. And as I did say, you do have the hardtop that comes with the model. Of course, on the 1/18 scale version, you don't have the built-in sort of side windows that you see on here, but it is actually made of plastic. So to put this on, you actually have two rear boot covers. The first one comes off like so. You just kind of pull it up. You put this one on. You kind of have to push down a little bit. And you can see that these two sort of pegs meet up with these two holes here. So what I do is I sort of anchor the top in place like this. And then I sort of match it up with the holes in the back here. There we go. And then you have your hardtop on there. It really does look good on the car, especially because they do include the side windows on it. I think that's a really cool touch. I think this car definitely looks good with both the hardtop on and the hardtop off. So overall, I think if you collect 1/43 scale vehicles, and even like upper end 1/43 scale vehicles, this model I think would fit well with those, because this model really does combine, I think, details you would see in upper end, 1/43 scale vehicles like, NORAD and Mini Champs and whatnot, in a sort of like a budget priced model. So next we'll take a look and kind of compare the details of the 1/43 scale version that you see here with the 1/18 scale version. Okay, so now I'll be taking kind of a quick look at both the 1/43 scale and the 1/18 scale variants of Maisto's Thunderbird show car. Now they also made a 1/25 scale version of the model. I don't have that. I do have the 1/25 scale 2002 Ford Thunderbird model that Maisto made. But as far as the concept vehicle models go, I have the 1/43 scale and the 1/18 scale versions right here. But overall, I think with the 1/43 scale version, Maisto really did put a lot of details into it. A lot of what you see in here, in like the interior especially, is actually in the 1/18 scale version too. The button proportions, I think, in here are a little bit too large. But I mean, like in here, they're actually very well done, and they are kind of like the right proportion compared to the rest of the aspects of the interior. But on here, I guess they wanted to make them more like noticeable and stuff, so they had to make them a little bit like larger, I suppose. And the shifter could use a little bit more detailing in here. But again, all these details are so small because this is such a small scale model. And you actually even get the floor mats down in there too. It's very hard to see, but you can kind of see a little bit like there. I forgot to mention in my review of this that yeah, you do actually have floor mats in here too. They're not separate pieces or anything, but they're actually molded into the flooring. The Maisto 2002 version actually has those too, but yeah, like all the detailing on like the door panels and everything is pretty much like the same, just in like a smaller scale. And that's like really cool to see. And they even have like the separate plastic taillights that look pretty much like these taillights. I just kind of wish that Maisto kind of continued to sort of do this, like offer, fairly well detailed 1/43 scale models to go with their 1/18 scale models. And yeah, they do have like their Power Racer series, but again, the paint jobs on those aren't always the best, and they are like pullback cars, so they're a little bit kind of oddly scaled at times to accommodate the pullback motor and stuff. This is actually, a collector's like detailed scale model. Maisto didn't really make too many of these models in this scale. I think I mentioned that they made the Mercedes-Benz S-Class and I think the Jaguar S-Type from this like Road and Track Maisto 1/43 scale model line during the same era. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really cool to kind of have, multiple models from the same manufacturer in like multiple scales. This is not the only kind of, pairing I have. I have a lot of other 1/18 scale cars where I also have sort of like a 1/64 scale clone. Like you guys saw with like my Dodge concept vehicle video. For that, I have the 1/18th version, the 1/24th version, and the 1/64th version. And like for my Chrysler Prado Cruiser concept, same thing. I have the 1/18th and the 1/64th version. And then for my 2020 Maisto Corvette, I have that in 2 or 3 scales too. But yeah, just kind of cool to have these kind of side by side, and really see that Maisto did put a lot of effort into detailing this at 1/43rd scale version. It takes on a lot of cues from the 1/18th scale version, like all the badging is there and everything too. It's just really cool to see that. Of course, I guess the main difference between both, aside from obviously the scale, you don't have the opening doors, hood, and trunk on the 1/43rd scale version, but you do have the two boot covers that come off, and of course both do come with the hard tops. Kind of the same system going on with the hard tops, where you have the two boot covers with the holes to accommodate the hard top. Of course, on the 1/43rd scale version, it does have the side windows kind of built into the hard top, as you can see here. And on here, you have the rear window, but there is no side windows. But yeah, I guess we'll take a look at both side by side with the hard tops on before we finish off the video here. So we'll do what we did earlier and put this on. All right, and here they both are with the hard tops on. So yeah, again, it's always cool to have, the same model, the same color, and at multiple scales. I hope to have more of kind of this thing going on in the future in my collection. So I hope this little unboxing review and I guess comparison of the 1/18th scale version with this 1/43rd scale version video was helpful, informative, and whatnot. And feel free to comment down below with your thoughts on either one of these models. If you have them, and which scale you prefer, etc. And if you share my opinions, I guess, in terms of the details of them. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.